Okay, are we live?
Hi, everybody.
Hello from France.
Hello from Guerande, France.
We cannot believe we are here.
Oh, my
and we will
goodness.
tell you all about this incredible town.
This
Incredible. This is Gwen.
Hi, everybody.
This is our friend. And he is the salt master.
Yes, he
Can we
is.
call you the salt master?
You want.
And let's ask Gwen a couple of very important questions.
Yes, let's
okay?
ask him.
Number one, Gwen, you were explaining to us there are other companies that sell fleur de sel, but tell us about that and why they're not the same as ours.
So that's the purple salt. That's the finer salt, so that they understand.
The
Okay.
fleur de sel is harvesting at the surface of the water, and the most important thing is that it's harvested by hand. And also, the historical fleur de sel is done here in Guerande. Even name have been created here in Guerande. So you have to make sure when you want to harvest this fleur de sel that first is 100% natural, then that it's harvested by hand, and third that is coming from Guerande, because you will be sure about the quality of the fleur de sel.
Okay.
So other companies have fleur de sel, but it's not done in the original way. So it's not the true fleur de sel.
It could be
Get
it could
closer.
be called from fleur de sel, but if you really want to be sure that it's an original one harvested by hand, you have to get it from Guerande with the PGI indication on the packaging. That means that you are secured about the original, about the origin and the way we produce it.
Right. And tell them what fleur actually means.
Fleur is flower. Fleur means flower. So we harvest the fleur de sel the same way you could harvest flowers, and it means that you have to do it by hand, gently. The smell of the fleur de sel when it's just harvested is like these little purple flowers, and also we harvest it in a little pool called œillet that is also a flower. That's why we give the name of the fleur de sel, flower of salt, fleur de sel.
And so what he was basically saying was a flower, like we smell our flowers, that's what it is. It's fleur means flower, and flower that we smell.
Yeah.
And I just love that. I just love that.
Okay, so Gwen, tell them how this is the same way they've been doing it for what, 2,000
Over
years?
2,000
Yeah.
years.
Guerande is well known in France and all over the world due to this long tradition. We start harvesting salt in Guerande 2,000 years ago, but we do the same way since 1,000 years ago. And when I say the same way, I mean that we use the same tools, we are in the same place, we keep the tradition alive, and we keep the quality alive. It means that if we do the same way since 1,000 years, it means that it's still 100% natural, and that's the most important thing.
Are there any questions? Ask
Okay,
our
does anybody
viewers.
have any questions? But the other interesting thing that you said is that, okay, there's other places like in France, let's say, that they harvest the salt the same way, but then they go and the big trucks take it and then they get rid of the
And
natural.
they wash
it.
it, and the minerals are not the same.
There is nothing like taken away from it. It's completely, we're eating what we're taking away from the water. That's how you said it, right?
Yes.
The thing is, if you want to have something harvested by hand with no trucks, nothing, with only the tradition and the know-how, it's from Guerande, and you have the guarantee of that thanks to the PGI logo inside the pack. And it could be done. You can do salt many ways, in many ways, but this way is the one of the oldest way, and maybe the way to permit to keep the nature really clean and to protect the nature. So that's why we would like, and we want, and we guarantee that we will protect the nature and do always the same way, in the traditional way.
And I love that it's full of iron and zinc and magnesium. And what am I leaving out? Iron, potassium.
Yeah, it's from everything is coming from the clay.
Tell them how you said it's the clay. There's no mud. The bottom is the clay.
Yeah, the salt workers are working all day long to prepare the season. The season is from June to September for a good season. and we need to clean everything. We need to put away the mud, and we need to harvest on the clay. The clay is one of the 5 most important things to produce our salt here in Guerande. You need the sun, of course. You need the wind to dehydrate, to make the evaporation. And you need also to have the know-how of the salt workers. And we need the clay, because when the salt will be in contact with the clay, it will get from the clay all the magnesium, all the iron, all the minerals that are really benefit for you.
Okay, I think
That's-
somebody has a crush on you. It's in his voice.
I know.
Okay, you have a question. Why is it kept a bit wet in the package? Does it keep its flavor that way? That's the
Because
question.
the natural coarse salt, when we harvest the natural coarse salt, it's 20 to 30% of moisture inside. And when we keep the salt here, we have a stock about 2 years. There is no shelf life on salt. Okay, it's preserved, so there is no shelf life, and we keep the salt during 2 years to dry it naturally. Okay, we don't use anything to dry it, and we want to have a salt really regular. So in all the package we sell, in all the pack you could buy, you have more or less 12% of humidity inside, and that is natural. It doesn't keep the flavor or doesn't keep the quality of the salt. It's only because it's the way we harvest, on the way we sell. We sell the salt since many, many years, and we keep the humidity. But if you want to have dry, coarse salt, you can buy it dry. It will be dry naturally here, and it will be less than 1% humidity inside. And thanks to the poor humidity, you could use it in grinder. That is much difficult if the salt is wet. So natural way is a wet one, and if you want to get a dry one, it's possible, and you can use it in the grinders.
And what I tell our viewers is to just, if it doesn't work in their sea salt grinder, I tell them to just spread it out on their baking sheet and it will dry itself.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
but it works in my sea salt grinder. It comes right out, Gwen. It does.
Best salt I have ever used. Okay, so beautiful process. Love that they protect nature. So it is fine to leave on the counter to dry yourself.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is totally
Okay,
fine.
do most people in France cook with coarse salt or the fine in dishes? The gray or the other one they're saying?
The fine salt is the coarse salt that we dry and then we grind. Okay, so when you use a fine salt from Guerande, it's exactly the same thing than the coarse salt, but we only dry it and grind it. So it's easier for you to use it on table, on your dish, etc. In France, we use the coarse salt, humid coarse salt, I mean.
The gray one.
Yeah, the gray one. In water for rice, for pasta, but also we do special dishes with this salt. And then we use also the fine salt to cook. And the fleur de sel is a finishing salt. It's really the best
It's
one.
exactly what we
That's
said,
exactly
everybody.
what we've been telling you. And the main thing is...
He knows we're crazy. What is crazy again?
Yeah.
Faux.
What does crazy
Faux.
mean? Faux.
Faux.
For girls.
Faux,
when
right?
you're crazy.
It's faux. Foo.
Foo. Something that I found super interesting was, and something that we've been telling everyone, the gray salt is less salty than the fleur de sel. The gray is less salty flavor than the fleur de sel.
Okay, wait. We have more questions for him. Okay. So if it dries, does it change this shelf life?
No, there is no shelf life on salt.
No, it lasts forever as long as it's kept
it is the
good.
best salt. I have turned my family all into this amazing salt. I will never use anything else again.
Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, but what else should we have him say? The cool little story how it was more expensive than gold back in the
Yes,
day.
tell them
that
yes,
really
yes.
fast.
And then that will be
And then we'll
enough.
be done, Gwen.
Yeah.
Okay, the story of salt here in Guerande is long, as I said. We harvest since the same way since 1,000 years. So during the Middle Age, the salt was used to preserve the food because fridge doesn't exist. There is no ice, and the only way to keep the meat during the bad season is to put it in the salt. So salt was really, really, really important here in France, and the price of the salt was really expensive. It was more expensive than gold at this period. So
Crazy.
the thing is, the production have to be organized at this period, and we also had to protect the storage of salt. That's why in every place where you have a good production of salt, you can also find some castle. And here in Guerande, you have a beautiful medieval city that you can visit, but it's still really, how to say that, still really
Old. Looks very old.
Looks very old, but still in a good
Condition.
Good condition.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, good condition.
So yeah, the salt is a old tradition, old history, and there's a lot of things to say about
Yeah.
the salt.
Isn't that
It's
fabulous?
precious.
Okay, will you be showing us around the farm? This is so exciting. Okay, we kind of did it in stories, but because of the weather, there's no harvesting the salt today. You have
No.
to have the sun out.
We have to have the sun during 10 days to be sure that we can start producing 10 days in a row. And the weather this year was not really good. We have a storm every 10 days, so the harvest this year is not really good. And
Should I flip the camera around and
but
show this?
we maybe can show you the marches.
So those are the marshes. Yeah.
So it's over here. I can't zoom in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can.
It's not a sunny day, so they're not harvesting today. So we missed out on that, but we sure didn't.
We
So,
can show this too.
Yeah.
Is this interesting?
Well, let's ask Gwen another question.
Okay.
Okay,
This is,
so
I don't know.
So
That's the
I think-
marshes, right?
I think something's interesting, Gwen, that you were telling us
They
about.
want to come to France just to see the salt.
Oh, I know. Something.
This
Gwen-
is why we came.
This is exactly why we came.
It is the best.
It is the best. And who found it? Me,
She's
the food
bomb.
nanny.
The food nanny is the bomb.
Okay, and
Who's helping sell it?
And
Me.
Yeah, and Gwen, I met Gwen in San Francisco.
Yeah.
That's when we came to San Francisco to meet Gwen. But something that was so fun and interesting, Gwen, was how you told me that way back, thousands of years ago, the people that harvested the salt got paid in the fleur de sel.
In salt, yes.
Yes, they got
Yeah.
paid in salt.
And in France, the salary is salaire, and the word salaire is coming from the word sel, salt. So that's why we used to say that the salt has to be a salary here in France, typically in this period, this region of France, but it was during the Middle Age. So the people was paid with salt because salt was so much important to keep the food during the bad season.
And in the castles, they have something they call a salt box. And it's only big enough to get like a woman's hand in because people would try to steal it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's part of the legend.
Yeah. Part of the what?
Yeah, part of the history.
Yes,
History.
part of the history. I saw that salt box, and boy, that would be hard to steal. It was just a little woman's hand.
Okay.
So, Gwen, we want to thank you for
Thank you.
taking the time.
Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
time.
Be
Thank
with
you for your
us.
There's no
interest.
other questions, right? I don't know if there is, but she said, wow, how neat. I think this is fascinating to see where this wonderful salt comes from. Okay, I'm curious, why 10 days of sun to be able to harvest?
In fact, we harvest the salt from the seawater. Okay, we are just in the seaside, and we let the seawater coming inside the marshes, and then we need to concentrate the salt in the water to have a good concentration enough to reach 280 grams per liter. So in the sea, in the coast here, we have 30 grams per liter, and we need to have 208. And for that, we use canals, we use the pools, etc. And we need to have 10 days from the sea to go to the last pool and to concentrate, to let enough time to the salt concentrate inside the water. And then when the concentrate is good enough, in the last pool, it's crystallized and fall down on the clay, and then we can harvest it. That's why we need a minimum of 10 days of sun with a good weather. So the good weather for us is sun, but not only, we need the wind also, we need the clay, we need the salt workers, and we need the know-how. This is the way it works.
And first, number one is the taste.
Yeah.
And number two is the nutritional value
Yeah.
in the salt. And what would number three be?
100% natural.
100% natural?
and we keep the this natural region, and we keep the know-how.
Yeah. So it's
Look what somebody said. They said, "I want to come to the salt to forget the Eiffel Tower." I think, Tor.
exactly, exactly.
Okay, he
This-
mentioned there are special recipes in France that use the gray salt. What are those?
There is something we used to do here in the coast. We used to it's the fish. It's a fish, a white fish, white fish. We catch in the coast, and we cook it in salt. So you keep you have your fish. It could be another fish. Depends. It could be a river fish, and you have to put under the fish 2 to 3 centimeters of coarse salt, humid coarse salt. Then you put your fish. You stuff your fish with like herbs, and then you cover all the fish with coarse salt, and you really put it like a
completely covered.
completely covered, and then you put the fish inside the oven, and you let it cooked during, I think it's something like 40 minutes, but we have to check in internet, and then it will be steam cooked inside the salt. So this is one of the recipes we do with this coarse salt.
But the main thing is that the grandmothers, like we were told on the tour, all the grandmothers use the gray salt,
Yeah.
and they all they interchange the fleur de sel with the gray. Everyone in France, they use both, and that's what we're teaching our people in the U.S.
Yeah.
To just figure out which one you like the best. Use them both interchangeably.
The,
So it's
the
perfect.
tour guy actually said that the finer was used for, what was it again?
Well,
Her-
well, she said the finer is used to enhance the flavor of any food.
Well, but
enhance
it says
the state.
the sugar, like enhance the sugar,
Yes.
like she says on fruit.
Yes.
and she takes
On
it
lemons.
takes away the lemons, the citrus
Yeah.
on lemons.
And it's used to enhance many different kinds of food.
My arm's
food,
starting to shake.
like beef or whatever.
You should be
okay,
filming this.
let's go. Let's just say thank
Okay,
you.
thanks,
Thank you.
Gwen.
Let's say
Thank
thank
you.
you,
Bye-bye.
Gwen. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Thank
We'll see you later.
Mr. Food Nanny's
Yes.
hiding.
Oh, Mr. Food Nanny, come and say hello. Oh, oh we
Thank
had so
you.
much fun.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye.